From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining me here this evening. You know, we are seeing the winds die down a bit here, but we still have elevated fire risk here over the next couple of days. And the reason being is, look at the highs. They're going on a mini roller coaster ride. So they're starting to go up as temperatures increase. We're going to start to see those relative humidities begin to drop. So despite the fact that the winds are still dying down, they're going to be a little bit on the breezy side. And with the low humidity, I'd still say there's an elevated fire risk. All right, so just be aware of that over the next few days. Now, it looks to remain dry this week going into next week. Some of the models, like the American forecast model, wants to maybe bring in some rain by this weekend, but I'm not seeing that happen just yet. No big changes, though, going through this week, this weekend, into next week. All right, for those of you that are new to Weather NorCal, I have a segment called Krueger's Quickcast for those of you that are in a hurry and just want a quick update on the weather, what to expect over the next 24 hours. So for tonight, yeah, you're going to drop down to the low to mid 50s in the valley, 30s and 40s for the mountains, and somewhere in the mid to even some upper 40s overnight tonight for the coast. It should remain dry, maybe some clouds along the coast. Out the door tomorrow morning, all right, looking at mainly sunny skies really across the board with some of that low clouds and some fog for the coast and some fairly mild temperatures as well. So you can see the area of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska. You've got this cold front. That's all what's been pushing through. But high pressure is going to build in over the next couple of days, and that will increase our temperatures a little bit here. All right, so let's take you into your Tuesday. We're still seeing some of the clouds along the coast, but you're noticing that as we go through the morning and afternoon hours, that those clouds will start to kind of erode away for the coast. In the meantime, we're also looking at plenty of sunshine here, taking you through the day on Tuesday for many of the higher elevations and along for the valley as well. Tuesday night, again, we're still seeing some of those clouds here along the coast, but otherwise, yeah, mainly clear skies. So the winds, yes, they are subsiding, but look at tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we're still seeing those winds in excess of 15, 20 miles per hour. So again, they're still a bit on the breezy side, and that continues even into the afternoon. But when we look at the overall trend, yeah, not as bad as it has been the last few days. We're not expecting gusts over 30 miles per hour, but more like 15, 20, maybe 25 miles per hour. But when you factor in the humidity, that's what's going to make a difference, because those humidity levels are dropping as we go into tomorrow, probably down into the single digits, and not to mention warmer too. Highs in the upper 80s for the valley on your Tuesday, 70s, 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and once again, still looking at those upper 50s to around 60 for the coast. So your 7-day forecast, we do see a spike in our temperatures on Wednesday. That's the peak of the warming trend. They go back down again, but then they go back up for Sunday before we see another drop going into your Labor Day. All right, here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. Also that upward and downward trend with those temperatures over the next 7 days. That's also the case for the higher elevations for Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains. There you can see up to about 80 degrees for Mount Shasta by Wednesday. We're dropping, and then by Sunday we're back up to about 80 again before we see another drop by next Monday. That's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. Hey, you know what? There's a free Weather NorCal app that you have access to. It's free. It's hyper-local, folks. It's not AI generated. The forecast that you see on the app here is in some shape or form influenced by me. So the forecast that you see on the app is the forecast you're going to see here on the website and the 24-hour streaming channel. It's all going to be the same and stay consistent. All right, so there you can see again that area of low pressure is pushing off toward east. High pressure, though, is beginning to build in. So let's talk about that fire danger again here, a little bit more detail. So as we go into tomorrow morning, still a bit breezy. Tomorrow afternoon, we're in the 20, maybe even 25 mile an hour range. But once again, winds not as strong tomorrow as they were today or even as we go from yesterday as well. 6 a.m. Wednesday, look at that, still that breezy north wind even in the morning. Now, by the afternoon, you notice the winds are calmer down to the south end of the valley, but still a bit breezy out towards places like Redding, Anderson, Cottonwood, for example, and maybe even a little breezy off into the eastern mountains. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want to show you something here, because as we go into your Tuesday morning, humidity is already low. I was talking about those winds are still even breezy for Wednesday morning. We're still down to about 20% humidity. That's low, folks. This is really low. Now we're getting to the single digits and some lower teens for the valley by tomorrow. But the key and the reason why we're not seeing the risk for fires is not quite as high over the last few days is because the winds are weaker. And one of the reasons we're seeing the humidity levels drop, number one, a little bit of a breezy north wind that tends to suck out the moisture in the atmosphere. Number two, temperatures are starting to increase as well. So as we go into your Wednesday morning, once again, 20-25% humidity, and we're still seeing those low humidity levels even on Wednesday, down into the single digits in many cases. But once again, the wind's not as strong for most of you in the valley. So let's talk about this mini roller coaster ride I was talking about, the temperatures, right? Cooler air, this is where the jet stream is. To the south of it is the warmer air, north of it is the cooler air. So as we take you through Wednesday, there you can see a little bit of warm up, and then by Thursday, it drops again. You see the cooler temperatures dropping down Thursday, even Friday, a bit of a dip here. Then as we go into Saturday, Sunday, we've got this ridge of high pressure. It's a weak ridge, but it's a ridge nonetheless, and this is going to increase our temperatures again going into the weekend, especially for Sunday. Then that warmer air shifts to the east, and we're starting to see some cooler air moving in from the north and west. So temperatures dropping back down again. But once this moves out, high pressure builds in, they go back up. That's when we kind of go beyond 10 days. So let's take a look at that. Temperatures going up, they kind of peak on Wednesday, a nice little dip, low to mid 80s for Friday, Saturday. We're back up again on Sunday, then another dip, and then another spike on Thursday of next week. So yeah, just this little mini kiddie roller coaster ride. And for the most part, we should stay above normal, which is about 83, 84 for this time of the year. Now we look at the wave heights, and there it is, folks. We're starting to see those wave heights begin to increase for your Tuesday, and they may drop a little bit here for your Wednesday. So there will most likely be, at the very least, maybe some small craft advisories for the marine forecast. But taking a look at your Trinity County forecast for your Tuesday, temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s for some of the warmer spots. It's dry for the next 7 days. 61 degrees for Blue Lake, 71 for Garberville for your Tuesday, 58 in Ferndale and Rio Dell, 59 in Klamath, 69 degrees for Orleans and Willow Creek, about 74 degrees. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the upper 60s, right around 70 for Etna and Fort Jones out in Scott Valley. For Modoc County, temperatures upper 60s, 69 degrees for Canby, 68 degrees in Ayden. We take you out to the eastern mountains where temperatures there will mainly be in the 70s for your daytime highs. So looks like another gorgeous day, although it's warming up a little bit in the valley. We'll call for mainly upper 80s for your daytime highs. There's your 7-day forecast for Chico. 93 Wednesday, there's that spike. We see a drop in our temperatures Thursday through Saturday. Another increase in those temperatures by Sunday. There's a look at your valley neighborhood forecast to the north. 88 for Redding, 87 for Cottonwood. There's your 7-day forecast for Red Bluff. Hey, how about that 7-day forecast for Redding as well? There's that spike on Wednesday up to about 93. Temperatures drop to the mid to upper 80s for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Low 90s for Sunday, even into your Labor Day. Yeah, it looks like Labor Day. Can you believe it? Labor Day is here for next Monday. Well, that is going to do it for your evening update. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have a great night.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.